forgot to turn my monitor around, so I really hope I'm in the camera right now. Okay, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't been here before, welcome so much. This is just going to be a little fast impromptu meal.
Baby, just me and you.
I have to apologize for the last video. I don't know what was wrong with my camera, but it came out really blurry. And actually, right now we're going to have some beef tacos. Ground beef is like regular tacos, and it's for Taco Tuesday. And the other thing is, it has some kind of Italian cheese on it. It doesn't have the regular yellow cheese on it. It has Italian cheese, which is a mixture of about 6 cheese. It's some kind of Fontanino and Asiago, and some provolone, and some Parmesan, and some mozzarella. So we just gonna get on it. Oh, and one more thing. I just came from gym, so I'm not a beauty queen today. If y'all want some beauty from me, go up to my beauty channel right here and check it out. It's Patti Cake. Now, I haven't been putting daily videos up on it, but there's enough videos in there that will help you with little tips and stuff like that. And I'm going to start working on that channel extra now. So anyway, we're going to go in. Oh yeah, I have some Dr. Pepper. I don't have no ice. You know why I don't have no ice? Because in this area is lead in the water, and we have to buy water to fill up our ice trays, and I haven't gone to the store yet. So hopefully tomorrow I'll get to the store and we'll have some ice. So I'm just going to have a Dr. Pepper, and I put it in the refrigerator so it should be cold. Oh yeah, and I have some rice and black beans, of course. You know I always have my rice and black beans with my Mexican food. And I'm real hungry because I haven't eaten today. So here we go. These are supposed to be soft tacos, but after I put them in the toaster oven to heat up just a little bit, somebody came and put something else in the toaster oven and turned it back on. So it's a little crunchy for soft tacos. Oh, let me say my blessing. Lord, make us thankful for this food which I'm about to receive to nourish my body for Christ's sake. Our Redeemer, bless the cook, bless the provider, and thank you so much, God in the universe, for providing me with this food. Amen. And then I'm going to get in the thumbnail. Taco Tuesday. Okay, I hope that's okay. Alright, first bite. I'm wondering how it's going to taste with this Italian cheese. Tastes pretty good. The salsa on it is really, really hot. See how crispy it got? Try this one. I bet you this one's gonna be better for me because I like the crispy tacos better. Even though these are crispy, they wasn't supposed to be. This one is right down my alley. Oh, I forgot to tell you what else is on it. My daughter made these. She also sauteed some green And red peppers and onions, so that's on it too, instead of the lettuce. So this has been one hell of a week, honey. I've been so busy. And I keep having so many ideas in my head for videos to do. But it just ends up being in my head because I don't know what this is, that things just keep on coming up. Just like right now, I'm eating tacos in this video. You know what this video is supposed to be? It's supposed to be a New York strip steak salad with this Asian dressing and some home cooked air fried potatoes on the side. I took the stuff out of the refrigerator to cook and then it started freezing again. So that's what the next video is going to be. I had it all prepared just to go in the frying pan. And it started freezing. So, I ended up eating what my daughter made. Fine with me, honey. Fine with me. So good. Another thing that's been going on, and it's everywhere, I can't get away from it because the reason I say get away from it is because it makes me so sad. The Kobe Bryant death. I didn't follow Kobe Bryant. And I didn't really pay that much attention to him. You know, of course, throughout the years, you hear stuff about him. I knew he was a big NBA player, you know, all the way at the top. The thing that hurts me the most is the little girls that was in that plane. I recently learned that, like yesterday, there was another little girl in the helicopter too, not plane, helicopter. Like, honestly, when I look at his daughter Gianna, it's two things. One thing is, I have a daughter named Gianna and we call her Gigi. And the other thing is, she looks like my oldest granddaughter. She reminds me of my oldest granddaughter. And my oldest granddaughter is athletic too. So of course, when I look at her, that correlation really breaks my heart. I'm not saying that there wasn't a correlation, it wouldn't break my heart. It would still break my heart. But imagine looking at this child. And the thing that makes me really sad is I feel like those little girls didn't have any say-so in whether they should go up in that helicopter or not. It was a risky situation. Like, they were not allowing any other helicopters to fly up that morning. So it was already a risk factor in play. And those little girls didn't have any say-so in whether they take the risk or not. And as a mother, it's kind of scary that to see somebody put some children in a helicopter when there's a risk factor. Like, it's so foggy or windy or whatever that they were not letting helicopters go up. But because it was a big, rich celebrity, they just went on with the show. I know to some people that doesn't sound like a nice thing to say, But I'm pretty much sure there's other mothers who think that way too, who feel that way too. She looked like a really happy, loving, and talented little girl, Gianna. I don't know who the other little girl is, and I never saw a picture of her. But God bless you all, and God bless your families, and I'm praying for your families. I mean, the prayers that you could give them is that God eases their heart and helps subside some of the pain. Because can you imagine the pain? Can you imagine the pain of Vanessa? And then there was a mother and father on the plane with the other child. And they had another child. So that child lost 3 of their family members. Well, rest in paradise, you know. We don't really know what's beyond. Even though there's certain religions who will tell you what's beyond. If you're a Christian and you believe in the resurrection of Christ, they tell you that Christ came back and whatever, but I don't know. I believe in God, and I believe in universal energy, and that's a whole other story. I'm not going to get much further into it. I trust in God. You know what? I forgot to turn my main light on. How did I do that? That's weird. I'm gonna go turn it on. I was just rushing to eat this food because, you know, a lot of times, by the time you set up, like, I don't have anybody to help me do anything with the filming or anything. Like, a lot of times, you know, by the time you fix your cameras and your lights and all that stuff, your food is cold. And I think I was trying to hurry up and sit down and get some food while it was hot. Looks like quesadillas. I have a video on my beauty channel where I forgot to turn my light on. I went through the whole entire video. I literally just ate 2 peppers off my shirt because there wasn't a whole lot of peppers. My older daughter told me to save some for my younger daughter, so I didn't want to waste them. If you make your ground beef correctly, with the cheese and the sauce, and that really tastes good together. But as I said, I was gonna do that steak and salad mukbang. And like, y'all could be like, oh, Who wants to see a salad? Honey, I'm telling you, it's gonna look really good. I'm gonna need some more of that. I'll be thirsty. So, I was gonna give you all a story time. It's something that happened to me when I was a teenager. Being a teenager in New York City at the time that I was growing up was really different than the way it is now. Like now it's just straight up scary as far as gang violence, gun violence, and stuff like that. But when I was growing up, you had to worry about stuff like, you ever feel a bird coming up and it doesn't come out? What is that, heartburn? Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. Some people like to hear that in a video, but I don't know. Anyway, when I was growing up in New York, you had to worry about stuff like rapists. I feel sorry for these young girls because I feel like if there was so many guys who seemed like they was trying to rape you when I was growing up, what's going on now? And these girls just be walking around the street. I could be driving around the street in a really dark area at 12:30 midnight or like by a highway or something. And these girls, they'll just be walking by themselves looking like a teenager or 20 years old, and they'll just be walking. I'm so scared for them. But yeah, I went through a lot of weird stuff when I was growing up. Outside my house. I was a very social person. I always worked. I worked since I was 13. At that time, they did not have computers. So, they would tell you what to put down on the paper. All you had to do was write something on the paper. There was no way to check it. So, you had to be 14 to work. And that's another whole story. When I got my first job, you had to be 14 to work. And I was 13. I'll tell you this story real fast. So, I got one left. How it looks. You can't see everything. You just see the Celsius. On the side, you can see everything. So, one day this girl, one of my friends I was growing up with, I guess, I don't know whether, do you call this a friend? By the end of the story, you tell me. So, she asked me to go with her because she was supposed to be getting a job at this place. And the place was called Wetson's. So we had to take the bus and we went to the place and she talked to the guy and everything. She was 14. Like I said, I was 13. So he talked to her, whatever. And then he was like, okay, we'll call you. So then he looked at me and he asked me if I wanted a job too. And I just looked at him. I didn't really know what to say because I knew I was 13, so I didn't know whether to say yes, no, whatever. But of course I needed a job. To be honest with you, my mother was raising 5 kids by herself. And I was into fashion and stuff, so of course I couldn't get all the clothes and shoes and different stuff I wanted. And like, even when I went to school and like when I was in middle school, there was one girl who her father used to buy her everything, and that's another whole story. Later on found out I wasn't even really her father. That's a whole nother drama, whole nother scandal. Damn. As I'm talking to you, I'll say one thing and I can think of a whole other story and a whole other scandal. But anyway, so he looked at me, he said, do you want a job? And I just didn't say anything. So he gave me an application and he said, if you want a job, you can come back here Saturday morning, fill out the application. He was like, how old are you? I was like, I'm only 13. He was like, okay, on the application, you know, put yourself up a year to make it like you're 14. He said, go home, fill out the application, and come back Saturday morning. So I went home, filled out the application, called my friend Friday night, asked her if she had to work Saturday too. She told me she had not heard from him. I didn't know what was going on. So, got up Saturday morning, bright and early. Got on that bus about 7 o'clock in the morning and went up to that place, handed him the application. He gave me a uniform and I started working right away. I had to work at the window as a cashier and, you know, order girl. It was a fast food place. It doesn't exist anymore, but it was called Wetton's. The food was really pretty good. Like, they sold hamburgers, french fries, like fish sandwiches, and fried chicken. But their french fries was homemade potatoes. Like, they had a machine where you put the potatoes in the machine and you turn it and the machine peels the potato. It was a big industrial machine. And then it goes down into this water. And then it drains the water out, and then the potatoes go into a machine that just cuts the potatoes. So you was having homemade french fries at a fast food place. I love homemade french fries. I love homemade french fries. Anyway, I went to work and I started working, and I never saw my friend come in. Do you know that afternoon when I got off the bus and I got back, I got home and I got off the bus, I saw her stand outside the bus stop. She was real tall and everything. Like, she was real tall. She was much bigger than me. So I was like, wow, she came to the bus stop to meet me. That's nice. I got off the bus, child, she started pulling my hair. And I pushed her off of me and I started walking towards my house. My house was only a half a block away. She was following me. She was trying to bang me in my back and everything. I don't have nothing to do with what that man did. I didn't know she wasn't hired. How many of y'all gonna give up a job because somebody's offering you a job at 13 and you need your little pocket money and they didn't hire the next person? You gonna tell him no? Would you do it now? If you have to feed your family, would you do it now? Like, I didn't have nothing to do with that. And I think it would be stupid for me to not take the job when I needed a job. Like I said, my mother was raising 5 kids by herself. Why wouldn't I take the job? So, you know, after that, every single day, my older brother had to meet me at that bus stop after work. Because I wasn't trying to fight that big old girl. Then I couldn't come outside. How crazy is a person? She would just wait outside. She didn't even live in my apartment buildings on this side of the street. She lived in the ones on the other side of the street. It was a whole different apartment complex. She'll come over there and just sit on the bench next to my building, waiting for me to come outside so she could fight me. So I had this good friend, Shelly. Shout out to Shelly. I love you, Shelly. I haven't talked to you in 100 years, but I still love you. And Shelly was like, Pat, I need you to come outside. You need to come outside. I was like, I can't come outside because so-and-so keeps waiting for me to come outside to fight me. And like, everybody was scared of her, like I said. So she was like, meet me outside at 9 o'clock. That's what Shelly said. Shelly put on her sneakers, braided up her hair, put her Vaseline on her face. She came and stood outside my window. She called me, Pat, come outside right now. Don't worry, come outside. And I went outside. And that girl tried to fight me. And Shelly stood in front of me. And Shelly was known as a good fighter. And Shelly stood in front of me. And she was like, if you want to fight somebody, fight me. Fight me. I didn't want to fight her because Shelly could fight. She's just a big bully. Oops.
Don't you dare touch me! Stand back! No! No!
I'm gonna bleep that part out. That's the way that story went. That's the thing about talking and eating. Anyway, she didn't bother me no more. And I kept that job for the next few years after high school. But then there was a whole other story that made me not have the job. And it had to do with sexual harassment. It was just when sexual harassment started coming to the forefront in the workplace. And they did sexually harass the young female workers at that place. Well, it was management doing it. Like, honestly, I got offered a whole new wardrobe to come in the basement. Child, I was working. I'll buy my own wardrobe. I didn't have to go in the basement with some old, fat, ugly men. I'll tell that story another time. That's a whole other story. I got so many stories. Y'all let me know below if you want me to tell you some of my teenhood stories growing up in Brooklyn, New York City. There's a hell of a lot of them. And when I really think of it, a lot of them involves abuse. Abuse from males. That's a shame. I guess that's why they came up with the Me Too story. I mean the Me Too thing. I don't know. But this taco sure is good. The rice got cold.
Hey, his body, baby, oh Lord have his mercy. Hey, I say, I'm feeling all this, she already know this. She wanna body my